Uh, hey guys, I hope you guys are seeing me live, and I hope I hope you guys are. I hope everything is working fine, and I'm not sure. I try my best to set up everything perfectly with my audio and this screen. And again, like so, there is a Spinosaurus you guys are seeing, and I hope in one corner you guys are seeing me as well. And yeah, I'm surprised to see there are 5 viewers right now, and and we'll be starting this Spinosaurs Walkcycle in 5 minutes, because yeah, I mentioned that we will be starting this at 9 o'clock. So yeah, we will get started as soon as it's 9. And so the 9 will be after 5 minutes. So I'm just saying this because if this video is already uploaded, and so if somebody is watching, so we will be starting this animation after 5 minutes. And I hope everybody is doing good in this crazy times. There's a coronavirus everywhere. And so yeah, and so meanwhile, so we still have time, so if you guys have any questions, please so please ask me. So we will be making a walk cycle using this rig. So it's again, this rig is from CG the Trong. I hope I'm speaking the name correctly. So the name is the guy who made this, he sell this rig. I think this rig is free, so you guys can just go and check this rig. And yeah, so we will be trying to animate using this rig. And let me see if this rig have any texture. No, I don't think so. I might have to load, but I think we will just go ahead like this. It'll be good. And again, like, I'm not sure if how fast is my internet. I think my internet is fast enough. It might be slow for you guys, and it might be fast. I'm not sure. So again, now I think we will get started in 3 minutes. And oh, okay, so there are 11 viewers. Guys, if you are here, you guys can let me know if you guys have any questions, or if you just say hi, so that I know who is watching. And I was not expecting much from this video, but I already received message from Elias. Hey Elias, I hope you're still here. And there's a Peter Zoe, I hope. And hey Peter, I hope this video is clear for you guys. Okay, so Elias asked me in this, can I show how to copy keyframes? And yeah, I will be copying from one foot to another foot. And so I think you guys will see how I copy. And I usually do I usually just copy and by right clicking on the viewport. And but we have this another very nice tool. It's called animate, but we will try to use the animate less, because it's a little bit expensive, and I don't want you guys to I want to keep it open. So hey Jordan, hey I'm not sure, hey from Russia is N Sunders. Okay, I hope I'm speaking your name correctly. And Indra, I'll call you Indra. Hey Indra, that's your second name. Okay, so okay, so you guys are here. I think it's time for us to get started. And yeah, so okay, so for this rig I will be using I'm sorry, I'm just a little bit nervous, because this is my kind of first video live. I made a video before, but I didn't tell anybody. I just went there, and so I might stumble in my talking, because I'm not good in talking. So yeah, okay, so let's get started. And so in the Spinosaurus rig, I really like this rig, except the tail. The tail, we don't have much good controllers in the tail. And yeah, hey, so this Bean Lee asked me where can I download this rig. I will leave the link to this rig in the description. So this video will be done in 3 hours. So after this video is done, I will leave the link to this rig, and so you guys can go there and download. And okay, so when you will open this rig, there is a one thing which is wrong. When you switch the Spinosaurus body to IK, then you won't see this the arrow. Right now is IK because I modified the rig a little bit. So to fix that thing, like, so let's say if right now, let's say when you will open the rig, you will see the rig is in FK like this. But when you will switch the rig to IK, you will see that this thing will disappear. If you have rig, you will see. So all you have to do, you just have to go to outliner and you just press F, and either, I think the group, this is the controller which I'm selecting, which will not be visible. So just go to FK and select it, and go to the upper, maybe one of these groups. The visibility is locked, so you just have to unlock the visibility and you will be able to see this. So yeah, so for now I'm just gonna select this, and yeah, everything is good, and we can. So let's see if there is any new messages. And okay, so I saw your animation. Cool, thanks Elias. Yeah, hopefully this video will be also good. So yeah, okay, let's not waste any more time. There are 10 viewers, and we should get started. It's 9 o'clock. Okay, so first I will get started by making a pose of this dinosaur. And so we are making a walk cycle, so maybe I will, right now I won't think much about that. And as you guys know that we are making this without any reference. So how will we make without this any reference? We will just try to understand how weight works. We will try to understand how a walk cycle works, and we will try to understand how, as you guys can imagine, this dinosaur will be a very big dinosaur. How much the weight, how the weight will react, how the front body will react to the back body, how the head will react. So we will try to understand everything. And okay, so right now I will just make a very basic pose for this, and I will just hold the front body, and I'm gonna move it a little bit down like this. And I'm just doing it so that because I think the front body should be a little bit down. It's just my preference. I feel that it might look better in this way. And now I will just move this a little bit up. And there's one bad thing in this rig. It's a very bad thing, and just so you guys know, to show the weight of this Spinosaurus, there's one thing you need to have in every rig, especially if it's a dinosaur rig. You need to be able to control this part of the leg like this. But as you guys can see, the shape of this foot here is not good. So we are seeing a kind of a circle here, like, and there's a very weird shape here, and which is not good. And the rig is good enough already, and there's nothing to complain. But I will still say that, you know, I wish we could have done, we had some better control on this part. So what I do, I will rotate this part of the rig like this, and I will also rotate this part of the rig, just so that this part of, I want to see it a little bit smooth, because when the foot will land, when he will land his foot on the ground, the foot, this part of the foot will go, because of the weight, this part of the foot will go flat like this, will go down. And again, when the foot is going back, this part will go back up again. So this part will go back up again, like as you guys are seeing in this one. So we will explore that when we'll go ahead. And for now, we'll okay, for now I'm not the best teacher, but I'll try to explain as best I can. Okay, so yeah, this is our first pose. We are trying to make our first pose. We won't be spending any time on the hands. Maybe in the end I will try to do something with the hand, but for now I think I will not be spending. I'll just give it normal pose to the hands, and we will just forget about the hands, because hands, I think they are the easiest, and I will just give this normal pose to the hands, and then we will not touch, we will try not to touch the hands in the video. And okay, so maybe I'll give a little bit nice shape to the tail as well, and then we will try not to touch the tail as well. And we'll, when the body animation is done, and in the end we'll try to animate the tail a little bit. And I'm not really concerned about the tail animation right now, so I will just give any kind of pose I need to give. And okay, okay, so Elias asked me what kind of laptop or computer I use. So actually I'm using a Alienware 17R3 laptop, and I'm using my monitor, a separate monitor, which is a ultra wide monitor, and that's why you guys are seeing a ultra wide Maya right now. And so I'm just using the laptop screen to talk to you guys and to manage my video, live video. And okay, so I think so right now there's one more thing. When I move the Spinosaur up and down, the head is also moving with the Spinosaurus, and so I don't want that. I want the head to be completely separate. I don't want any part of the dinosaur to be moved with the head. I want in the end, when I'm done making the body animation, then I'll go back to the head and I will try to animate it a little bit better. So what I'll do, I will just go and turn on this global thing, and maybe I'll turn off this follow. Let's see how it reacts when I turn on the global. I think it's still following. Okay, so I will just turn on this follow, maybe then. Okay, so now I think our head will be independent. So but now we have to place it back to the original position. And yeah, so okay, so now we'll continue making our pose. Okay, so maybe let's start with this pose, and I'll make it a little bit better pose because the foot itself is not flat. As you guys can see, the fingers are a little bit in the air, and the foot have a little bit of angle, like this part of the foot is a little bit up in the air. So what I will do, I will first of all, I will try to make the foot a little bit straight like this, and okay, and maybe I'll move it a little bit down. I would if I was the one who is rigging this rig, then I would definitely make a attribute to make the foot a little bit squishing, because to show the weight properly we need to squish the foot properly. So there is a question, which I'm sorry, I'm not able to understand the question from Shyam. I'm sorry if I'm reading your name incorrectly. Prefer body ends and okay, for cycle, again, I think I understand your question. For cycle, I like to be able to control each part of the body separately. For hands, it doesn't matter. I like to use hands with FK, because with FK I think it's more, it makes sense. But everything else also, like if I have a IK spine, if I have a IK tail, I'm sorry, if I have a IK tail, then that's a really good thing. But in this rig I don't have a IK tail, so which is not good. And if I wish I had a IK tail for this dinosaur, then that would be a really nice thing to have. But for now we don't have a IK tail, we have a FK tail, and we will try to just animate the FK tail. And okay, so maybe I'll give a little bit better pose to the head. So we were trying to make the foot pose, and okay, I will make sure the foot is on perfectly on the ground. So I will just turn the fingers a little bit so that they are touching the ground. And okay, so I don't think we need to animate this finger. So right now as this is it's almost this in this pose, this foot will land on the ground. So when the foot will land, I don't like this shape of the foot. I don't think this is a correct shape of the foot. So what I'll do, as I already explained, I will just try to turn this foot a little bit like this, and so that now we have a little bit better shape here. This will definitely mess up the foot a little bit, because we are seeing the downside, the back side of the foot is going inside the ground, which I don't want. But I don't want to see this shape, so I'll better put this part of the foot down in the ground, and I'll keep this nice shape of the foot. And then as soon as the foot will land, I think I'll keep the foot a little bit like this, and as soon as the weight will come on this foot will go like this with the weight. So for now I'll keep the foot like somehow like this. And so there is this is the foot, the knee controller. I'll keep it somewhere here, and I'll just okay, so the same thing I'll do to this foot. I will be just in the end I'm just going to copy the animation of this foot, and I will be just pasting that animation on this foot. So we don't really need to spend time on this foot, but just to I think for now this pose is good enough. We don't really need to spend any time, because we are just going to copy this animation of this foot, and we are going to put on that foot. And I think the overall pose, I don't have any problem with this pose for now. I'll just keep this pose like as it is, and I think I should just save this file before it crash. I'll just name it 1. Let's see, 1 second. Okay, there's I'm not sure what Elias is talking here. Maybe he's trying to send me a link, but I think we will continue with this cycle for now. Okay, so we'll continue with this. I think Elias is trying to show me a Jurassic Park 3 Walkcycle. So yeah, I just want to let you know, yeah, I've seen those movies, and I try to observe those cycles as much as possible. So yeah, we will apply all those things which we saw on those in those movies, and we will try to make this cycle like a hyper realistic film. Okay, so for now this is I think this is a good pose. And there's one thing, I know this foot is not on ground, so we are not worried about that, because anyway we are going to copy this animation. Okay, so right now we know that this is a really big dinosaur, and so how will we show the scale of this dinosaur? What I'm gonna do here, I am just gonna make a basic man kind of looking boxes, so that we know how tall will a man will look in front of this dinosaur. So let's say this is the body of a man, and then I will just duplicate it, and I will make it look like like 2 legs. So let's say these are 2 legs, and Okay, and maybe again I will just make it look like a head, just to see how so that we can feel that how gigantic this dinosaur is. So I think this is good enough, and I will just quickly make the hands of this dinosaur, and okay, quickly scale it down. Okay, so let's imagine that this is the size of a human. So the human will look this much small in comparison to this dinosaur. So now we can immediately we can see how big this dinosaur is, and because of this, now we will be able to understand how because this dinosaur is so big, his body parts will take time to move from one position to another position. He won't be a quick moving dinosaur. So right now we can see, like, you know, if this guy have to move his hand, he just need to he don't need much time to move it. But if this dinosaur need to move its hand, it will take some time to move the similar. So we just have to understand the inertia of this body. The inertia of this dinosaur will be a lot. The dinosaur needs some time to move his gigantic and heavy body. So I made this thing here just for us to understand that this is a really gigantic thing. So now we will start moving the foot. We will deal with the body later. For now, first, what I understand with this this dinosaur is, I think, according to me, I think that this my approach to this cycle is, first I will make the foot animation. Why do I make foot animation? Because first of all, I'm not using any reference for this, and once I'm done with the foot animation, then I will be able to think about the upper body. So if the foot is moving like this, then the upper body will move like that. So my mind will start thinking about it, that how the upper body should move. So and it's not like I'm not telling you guys that you guys should not use any reference. Please, I don't think that's a good idea. You guys should always use reference. I'm just not using any reference right now because I already made enough dinosaur cycles. I've done a lot of practice, and now I'm just trying to polish. I'm just trying to experiment. I'm just trying to make a nice dinosaur cycle by using my mind. I'm just trying to make a fresh dinosaur cycle because I don't want to make it look like any already existing dinosaur cycle. So that's why I will try to use I will try to make this without using any reference. So okay, this I think this dinosaur cycle should be at least let's start with making a 60 frame cycle. So it should be starting from frame 0 to frame 60. So frame 0 will be the first frame, and frame 60 will be the last frame. I mean, it'll from frame 0 and 60 will be the same frames. And so there's a okay, so here he asked me that am I using the hands in global mode. No, I'm not using the hands in global mode, and right now I'm not even thinking about the hands. So like I think it would be nicer to animate this in the global mode. I would like to animate the hands in a global mode, and I think, yeah, that would be a good idea to make the hands in global mode. And the animation. So so I received a message from Jarud, and good morning, Jarud. And so Elias asked me how long am I in this animation field. So I think I am in animation field from like last 6 years, and I got lucky that I got chance to work in very good films, very big films. And recently I worked in Mandalorian, and I got chance to work on many good creatures in Mandalorian. I'm sure you guys must have seen Mandalorian. And so yeah, in my 6 years I grew up a lot, I learned a lot. So I can still consider myself a medium level. I not consider I am a medium level animator. And so yeah, I'm just sharing whatever I learned in 6 years. So and so okay, so here this is the first pose of this foot. We will key everything. We will just select the whole foot and we will key on this frame. I will turn off the geometry selection, and okay, so we'll key on frame 0, and we'll again do the same key on frame 60. And so yeah, this is because frame 0 and frame 60 will be the same frames. And so now I will just go to frame, let's say this foot will go back till frame, let's say 40. It will go back till frame 40. I will just move it back maybe till here. So I think the dinosaur should take at least the Spinosaurus should take at least 40 frames to reach from front to back. We might change the frame range in future, but right now let's imagine. Let me double check the settings. I hope this is, yeah, this is real time. So I think, yeah, it seems like good speed. For sure this will be a super slow dinosaur. So let's keep it, instead of keeping it 60, let's keep it 50. So the first frame will be 0, and the last frame will be 50. So I think 50 should be good enough, and we will keep it from we'll keep the foot on ground longer. So instead of 60, let's keep it 50, and let's see how the foot looks now. Yeah, I think this seems like a optimum speed for a for cycle. What I'm trying to see here, I'm just trying to imagine, like, so this is a human. So if a dinosaur is walking, I am trying to feel that the foot should be moving in this speed. And yeah, I will I will copy this and put animation to that. I got a question from Elias that to copy the I need to show him how to copy the keys. We will do that in video when we are done with this foot animation. Okay, so okay, so I receive another message. Yeah, I think so Elias asked me that how much after how long did I feel that I can call myself animator. Even right now I am still learning a lot of things. Even right now I am not, sometimes I don't feel comfortable calling myself animator. And because there are many things about animation I still don't know, but it just depends on like it just depends on you. But I know a little bit about animation, so yeah, I can call myself animator. So and so okay, so right now we are trying to keep from frame 0 to frame 32 the foot on the ground. So I will go to the graph editor and I will make this from frame 0 to frame 32. I will make sure the curves are in linear. Why am I doing that? Because when the foot is on ground, the curve need to be linear, because in the end, when we are done making cycle, we will move the global controller. I think if you want, you can make a progressive cycle right now, but I don't think, personally, I don't feel that that's a good idea. So yeah, so, and because in the end this part of the global controller will be moving in a linear motion, in kind of linear motion, but so it's better to keep this this part of the curve as a linear. Linear means it's not, there is no curve from first to last key. So and after that we are going to work on how this part of the curve should look. And okay, so on frame 32, let's say, now let's try to make a nice pose here. And okay, so maybe I will make it a little bit. I wish I can control this the leg by using this controller, but I think that this controller is completely useless. This controller is to control the thighs. So but I think that if I'm moving it up, the thigh should be moving from this part. I want to see this part of the dinosaur moving, but that's not happening here. So I feel that this controller of the dinosaur is very useless. Maybe we can use it for something, but not I don't feel any use for it. So we'll try to show the weight by using this controller. So, okay, so for now we will keep this pose. Maybe okay, so we have to make it roll. So one thing I need to tell you guys, so when this foot will leave the ground, it's not just going to leave just like this. The fingers need to push the foot up, so that the finger need to push the foot as well as the body, so that it can go up and then land ahead. So we have to make that ourselves. And so for now, let's see how the foot animation looks. Okay, so now we will refine the ground part of the animation. So what I'll do, I will make sure I'll quickly make up and down movement in the body. Just to understand how the body should work. And okay, I think I keyed the wrong place, so I'm just going to work on this part of the body first. So as soon as the foot will land, again now I will tell you guys how this body will move. So as soon as the foot will land, so let's imagine that on frame 0 this foot will land. So as soon as this foot will land, this body will go down. So I will key on frame 0 and this foot will go down. Sorry, okay, I mean the back body, the hip part of the body will go a little bit down as soon as this foot will land, and till the time this foot will reach in the middle of the hips. So this part should go up again. And maybe this is going too fast. We will try to see. See, and the thing is that right now, as we are trying to make this from our mind, we have to play around a lot, and it's not like you did something and it start looking good already. So we have to play around. I received a message from Jarud. Always in trouble with this part. Okay, I'm sure you are talking about the roll part of the foot. Yeah, that part is quite tricky. So we will try to make it nice. So that's why I'm trying to animate the body first, so that we can feel the foot pushing the body as well as the foot, so that they can move together. So right now I'll quickly just make, I only need to make up a nice up and down in the hip part of the body, and then we will use this when this foot is leaving the ground, and we will do that. Okay, so quickly let's do one more thing. We will just copy the keys of this frame 0 to frame 50. We will just copy this part, and we will put this animation on this foot. Just we don't need to do anything else, just this part of the foot is enough. This controller is enough, because I want to see what's going on in this. I want to see both feet moving together. And okay, so what I'll do, I already copied those keys, so I'll go here on frame 25 and I will paste it here, and I will go in the graph editor and I will select everything, and I will go to curves, pre-infinity and cycle, and we are not seeing anything because it's not turned on yet. Okay, so now we will see both of the foot moving. Yeah, so now we will understand how we need to animate the hip part of the body. Okay, so as you guys can see, this foot landed on frame 0, so the body went down and then body went up again, and again on frame 25 the value should be kind of same, let's say 0 of y. So we'll make it like, okay, so the body is still going up till frame 20, and so what's happening here, as soon as this foot is this foot is landing, the body is going down, and then as the foot is coming and also at around frame 8 this foot will push the body up, and also this foot will push the fingers forward, and so we will see a roll here, and this part the body is going up, it will support the roll happening in the fingers. So when we are seeing the roll in the fingers, when we are seeing the roll in the foot, we also need to see the body going up, because that roll is pushing the body also forward. So okay, there's another message. Crossed. Cross. Okay, let me see what. Okay, I'm not sure which cross. I think it's we will talk about the crossing thing. I don't know. There's a message from Elias that I can notice the tangents in graph editor are crossed. That does not create any deflect in the animation. I'm not sure. Okay, in translate y. Okay, let me see. Okay, this part, I know we are still going to work on this part, and we are still working on it, so let's see how to make it look better. And if you're talking about this part, yeah, we still have to work on this part. So let's see. So here again, so on frame 8 this foot will push the body up, so that's what we are seeing on frame 8 here. So body start going up, and maybe till frame 12 it should go even more up, and then the body will drop on frame 25. And when on frame 25, when the body will drop, we will see the weight coming down on the next foot, and because that weight is coming down, this foot will this part of the foot should bend like this. So that's, we are going to animate that in when we are done making up and down. So I will select this, and I will try to make a nice fall from frame 20 to 25. Okay, so okay, now at this part we will select we will only look at y tangent, and so y curve, and on frame 25 the body is coming down, and we will select these parts of the tangents, and we will try to make it smooth. So right now we are not seeing the infinity, so I will just go ahead, I'll select everything, and I'll just click on these parts you guys are seeing here. This is for to make a good infinity, so we are trying to make it cycle, so these are for cycles. So yeah, so now we can see okay, so on frame 20 I need to make it a little bit smooth. Okay, so now I think it's looking more believable. Okay, so now as you guys see, as soon as the foot is landing, the body is going down. Trust me, as we'll keep animating, this will look even better and better, so you guys just have to bear me. And so right now we are seeing a kind of base thing happening here. So how did I start it? I moved the foot from front to back, and with that foot animation, I thought about how the body should be, the back body should be going up and down. And now as we know that this is how this is how the both of the foot will be moving. So so now I think because of the up and down, we have a good option here to work on this foot. We know how we are going to work on this foot, and so as we know that on frame 0 this foot is landing, so as soon as this foot is landing, this we will see a kind of bend in the foot, because the whole weight of the body is coming on this foot. So we will see the foot is going to okay, we will see the foot will kind of bend. So we will try to use these controllers and we'll try to bend the foot. Okay, and okay, we need to see some weight in this foot at this spot, and so we will select this everything. We will try to bend, and we will also try to work on the fingers at this spot. So what I'll do, I think this I will go ahead and I will select all the fingers, and I will make a nice weight on all these fingers. And maybe how will we show a nice weight? Maybe I think maybe we can make the fingers a little bit wider, which will make it look like there's a weight falling on the finger. So maybe we can try to I think this is good enough for a basic. If we need to do some more detail in fingers, we'll go ahead and do it later. And maybe on frame 0 I will make the fingers a little bit inside, so that we can feel that when this foot is falling down, we can feel that there's a weight coming on this foot. So I made on frame 0 I moved them inside, and on frame 4 I moved them outside. So in these 4 frames we feel kind of weight coming on this foot, and you guys can see from far distance there's a weight coming on this foot. Maybe we can exaggerate a little bit more, and I will go here and let's see now how it looks. And okay, so till frame 13. Okay, so there's one more thing. We modified the first frame of 4 fingers, so we'll go here and we'll see that the first and last frame is not same. So we will go on frame 0, we'll hold on to the middle click, we'll go to frame 50 and we'll press S. This will copy frame 0 to frame 50. So and okay, so we will go on frame till frame 17, let's say maybe frame 16. This foot will still remain bent in this way, because the weight is still there on this foot. And maybe from frame 16 to frame 23, at this time the body weight will shift on other foot, and on frame 25 maybe 25, yeah, on frame 25 the weight of the body will fall down on the right foot. So we have to kind of yeah, so we have to kind of work in that way. So on frame 16 the weight of the body is still on this foot, so I'll keep the body bent somehow like this. And okay, so I think this is good. And okay, so we'll continue. And so maybe now we have to make it look now we have to make a nice roll from frame 16 to frame 25. I think this is a good place, because the foot is already passing the middle of the hip, and this is a good spot to start making a nice roll. And maybe the roll can start happening from frame 23 or maybe from 16. Let's say that the roll will start happening after the foot is landed. So we'll start making the roll from maybe frame 24 or frame yeah, let's make the roll from frame 24. So but till frame 24 we will make a nice pose here, and maybe a little bit bending of the foot already, like a foot roll we can make. And okay, so we have to understand that we haven't added any key on the before. So on frame 16 we have to go back and we have to add a nice key here, so that we can still feel the weight. Okay, so we'll just on this frame we'll just select everything. Okay, we also have to make sure the fingers are in nice pose, and maybe I'll keep the fingers. Let's not worry about fingers right now, just these 3 controllers. I'll select them and I'll key everything on frame 16, and I'll go on frame 14, and I think this seems good enough to me. Sorry, frame 24. Let me think. Okay, so here we are going to make a roll from frame 24 to frame 32. We have to make a nice roll at this place. Okay, so now how are we going to make that roll? So we will see that also. Okay, so there's a message from Abhishek Chandra. Hey Abhishek, and okay, thank you very much for your compliment. And so now we will we'll make a roll from frame 24 to frame 32. Okay, so we will try to what I'll do, I'll go to frame 24 and I'll key everything, and then I will make a nice pose here as if the roll already happened. We are not going to worry about the fingers at this point. We are going to do the fingers later, but right now let's imagine the fingers are already rolling. So what I'll do, I'll just kind of make a nice so yeah, I think this seems like a good roll happening. Okay, so here the foot will go up and maybe a little bit back, and maybe a little bit like this. I'm already animating beyond frame 32 as well, so as we can already see the way this foot is going to move. We are just trying to imagine and trying to do what is coming in our mind. We are just trying to put that on the screen. So there is a roll happening, and then the foot is going up. Yeah, I think it seems like a nice thing happening. Now we can go ahead and we can work on the next controllers. Okay, yes, we are got the lost. Okay, sorry, I'm not fast in reading English, so whenever I have to read, I have to just stop and read each and every word. Okay, so yeah, so this is a, I think this seems like a good enough roll, and maybe we can okay, so now we can go here, and I feel that the landing here is too smooth because of this the way this we are seeing the Z curve here. I don't think it's a good way to land, because the landing is, the dinosaur is taking the foot forward and then he's landing it very smoothly. That should not happen. The dinosaur should just go boom. So what we are going to do here, we are just going to try to find a nice speed here to land the foot. So let's try to let's see how this looks. Okay, so yeah, this seems like a nice speed. We also need to work on Y, so maybe let's try to move it a little bit up. Okay, so I'll break it. I'll break the tangent. Why I'm not I can just select the whole tangent and I can just rotate. I just like to stay organized on the tangents, and I need to, as you guys know, as you guys are seeing right now, I'm not adding any extra keys. I am only adding, whenever I need to add a key, I add a key. I don't like to confuse my mind with too many keys. Sometimes I do work with so many keys, but still I try to remember that what am I doing here. I'm not just making any pose without thinking. Okay, so now I think this seems like a good seems like a, I think this should be working. This should work. Okay, we are going to animate the fingers at this point, so we will think about it. And so there's another Okay, so there's a there's a message from Sam, like at which place the the weight from this foot will shift to that foot. So yeah, why this the reason this roll is happening, this roll is a way that this dinosaur will put his weight to other side. So even we do the foot roll, right? So that, why do we do the foot roll? Because we roll the foot and then we push our weight to other side. I consider our body is like a we are our legs are carrying this our body, and just what we are doing when we are walking is we are just throwing our weight from one foot to another. So when we are walking, we are just throwing our weight from one foot to another. In that way, one foot get chance to move forward. So what's happening here? We are going to move we are going to shift the weight on side to side. So at this point, when the weight start rolling, maybe around this place, so because of the foot roll, the body will move on this side, and because at the same time this foot is also landing, so this body weight can't move on that side until the foot landed. So what should happen here is so the foot will the weight will start shifting at around frame 19, and as soon as the foot landed, the weight will completely shift in next 5 to 6 frames. So we'll go through this as we'll go ahead. You guys will understand everything. And I see there's another question. It's a very good question. Like to roll, should we rotate it, or should we use the roll attribute? That's a very important question, because see, right now I have a roll attribute here. So the guy who asked is Bip Savvy. Okay, Bip Savvy. So there is a roll attribute here. So let's try to use it, and let's see how it how it animate, how our foot move by using that. So when I will use this roll, I think it's a nice way to move a foot, right? But this is not how I am imagining my foot to move. I can use this roll if I will think like I will try to think myself that, do I need to use this kind of movement anywhere in my animation? Maybe when the foot is landing on frame 0 or last frame, maybe I can use this roll to animate, to do this kind of move, like boom, boom, to use that kind of weight. I'll use this roll, but I think that this roll is not going to make this animation look good. It's a nice way. They give the Trong, the guy who made this rig, I think he gave us a nice way to move the foot like this. But maybe in humans, when we do the foot roll, it's a nice way to. But right now, this foot is really complicated because we have very big fingers, and those fingers are also going to push the foot. So I will try not to use this roll, because I think the way the foot is moving in this roll is not correct. I don't think this is a nice way to roll. Maybe I would have used, if by doing this roll I would have get a nice roll in the fingers. I would have get even fingers moving a little bit like this, but that's not happening here. We have to animate the fingers ourselves. So even like there are other like roll angle, I always try not to mess with that. And so there is a toe raiser which does some animation in the toe, and even that can't help us because it's just animating the fingers from the root. So as you guys can see right now, like this roll is not helping us a lot. So you guys have to start thinking, like, don't think roll as a roll, just think about it, how you want to move the foot, and is that roll helping you moving your foot in the way you want it to move. If it's helping, that's good. If it's not helping, then you have to make it move that way somehow. So because I already animated this Spinosaurus before, so I don't think this is helping me at all. So I'm just trying to make the roll myself. So right now you guys will see at this point, when this foot is curling is rolling like this, I'm going to ahead when I'm done making, when I feel that this is a good animation, I will go ahead and I will animate the fingers so that we can feel the fingers pushing the body. We are going to work on it, but first I will just want to make the foot move nicely. Okay, so yeah, I think this is not a bad I mean, it's quite basic, but yeah, it's a maybe let's try to make it look a little bit better, and then maybe we can go ahead and we can start working on body. See, again, like here, once we have the body animation, then we have to come back on feet and we have to try to animate the foot again, and like we have to go back and forth. Once we have good enough detail in the body, then we'll realize, oh, this foot need even more details, and then we'll start working on foot. Then we'll realize that, oh, this body need more details. That's why we have this curve, so that we can do any kind of changes we want. And okay, so I will do a little bit more detail, and then I'll quickly finish the finger part, and then I'll move on to the body, because we already spent 50 minutes here, and we need to do the body animation as well. So another question from Elias: is it possible to do yes, so Elias asked that, is it possible to add extra animation in this cycle? Yes, definitely. Once we have the cycle, we can make the dinosaur walking and roaring. That's a very big possibility, and you can use this layers. You guys have animation layers here. You can easily use the animation layer. Even if you don't want to use animation layer, you can always bake your animation. I'll show you guys, maybe if we have time, I'll show you guys how to bake. In my other tutorials, I already showed how to bake an animation. We can easily make a we can bake it, and we can add a roar or some other kind of animation, maybe dinosaur looking around. We can always do that. And okay, so yeah, okay, there's another question from Aman X. Okay, so he mentioned that it looks fun, would love to a dragon fight demo next. Yeah, I think it would be fun to animate a fight in a live animation, but I think, you know, it's a long dragon fight, and if you want to make a fight animation, you have to go through a lot of planning. Maybe in future we'll try that, but yeah, but it will take a long time. But yeah, definitely I'll keep that in mind, and maybe we'll try that in future. Okay, so for now we'll quickly do a little bit more detail in this foot, and maybe okay, so I'll save it just in case it crash, because my computer is not good enough. It crashed many times, and I don't want to spoil this video for you guys. And okay, so okay, I'm just trying to refine the Y, how it should move. So see, again, like I will talk about the question Bip Savvy asked, that shouldn't we use this roll. I think it's a really good way to, you have to think about it, how you want your dinosaur to move, and you have to find ways to make, like, you know, that kind of thing happen. So right now I don't have, I wish I have this thing happening in the body. I wish, like, when I move it up, I wish I can feel the skin also move. I wish I can feel this entire part moving up when I move it up, but that's not happening. This thing is not helping me anyway. It doesn't feel like there's a bone moving up here. So this controller is kind of useless for me, and so I have to find a way. Like right now, I need to find a way. Like I need to make the weight on this foot. I mean, we need to make the weight happening. We need to show the weight falling on foot, and so we like, I don't really have that good controller to make so that I can show you guys that, oh, so now suddenly the boom, there's a weight falling on this foot. So we have to find out a way to make it happen. So I'm not saying that this is the best yeah, okay, but yeah, we'll do our best. Yeah, so Aman X. Okay, so yeah, we will definitely make a dragon flying cycle in future. So cool. So okay, so we will yeah, I think this is a good spot for us to stop animating the foot. I'm happy with this animation. Okay, yeah, maybe just few more things. Okay, so just before the landing, this foot should not be it should be more relaxed. So I will go here and I will animate it to make it more relaxed like this. And now we can see that this foot is a little bit. So why am I doing this? Because as soon as the foot will land, we will see a big change in this foot. So again, this part I think maybe we can make it a little bit straight, and now we are going to copy that here. We'll select both of these and we'll copy this from 50 to 1, and now we need to turn on the infinity for everything in our. So I'll just select everything. I'll turn on the cycle for that. We need to see how it's reacting. So let's see our this foot part. So I'll smooth this part out. So here we can see as soon as before this the foot was straight, and as soon as the foot landed, maybe I can see -10 here just to show you guys. I can go back a little bit. So here you guys can see it was straight before, and suddenly when it landed, it's going to bend this way. We are going to see the weight shift happening on another foot. Okay, so here I'll do the same thing here. I'm going to make it smooth. Oh, sorry. Okay, so this is good, and yeah, now I think it's a good time to move to the fingers. I'm going to shift it back again. Yeah. I'm not that happy with the way it's moving. Something is missing. Yeah. Let's try to figure out. Okay. Yeah, let's see. Yep, I think we can always come back on the foot, but right now I think we have good enough idea of what we are trying to do here. So yeah, we can always, we have to keep polishing this again and again. I'm just going to make a basic, good enough cycle. In 3 hours we can make a good enough cycle, but after that I need to make this look super nice. And how will we do that? I'll come back and I'll keep polishing the curves and until it looks very nice. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and we'll animate the fingers. I'll do one thing. I'll just select everything and I'll deselect whatever I don't need, and we don't need any of these foot controllers. We only need the fingers, so that I can key on frame I think on frame 24 I can key everything from frame 23 to 24. Okay, and now from frame 24 the foot already started rolling, and now we can animate each and every finger. So okay, from frame 32 we are going to make the first pose of these fingers. I'll go ahead and I'll try to make a nice pose for this middle finger first. Okay, so this seems like a good enough pose. I'm going to do the same here with this finger as well, and okay, I'm going to move it a little bit inside. Okay, so okay, so this seems like a yeah, this seems like a good enough move here. Don't worry if the fingers are going in ground. I mean, if you need to polish that part, you can do it later, but definitely this will be a soil, and I don't think the dinosaur is going to walk on a concrete, so even if the fingers go a little bit in the ground, I think that should not be a big deal. And so as we can see, like right now, the okay, seems like a good enough thing for now. Okay, so we'll go back on frame 37, maybe, let's see, 37. Okay, and we'll make another pose here, and let's imagine that on frame 37 it already left the ground, the foot already left the ground. Okay, there are a few more questions. If okay, is this minus from T-Rex? Okay. Oh yeah, so hey Bip Savvy, yeah, there is this jiggle movement. So here you can see I use these controllers to add the jiggle, so you guys can see there's a jiggle happening in the body, so there's a nice belly jiggle happening. So yeah, it's, I mean, like I like to polish in the end, so there's a jiggle in the neck. So I did all the jiggle in a way to show there's a kind of skin, there's a kind of muscles in the body. I wish there was a jiggle in the back part of the body, but there's no controllers, so I use these controllers to add the jiggle. So if you're talking about those jiggle, these are the all 1 2 3 4 5, so these are the only controllers I use for jiggle, so that's where the jiggle is coming from. And as I'm also, like, maybe I also added this jiggle from this arm controller, this shoulder controller. And how long animation you can make per day? Okay, so there's another question from he showy, I hope I'm not ruining your name. So as a professional animator, how long of animation we can make per day? Okay, it totally depends on what kind of show you are working on, what kind of studio you are working on. So like in good studios, they want a very polished, very nice cycle, so you get more time to animate that. So in smaller studios, they most of the time they are not looking for too much nice and polished animation, so they usually kind of go ahead and let you do more animation. So but I think, like, you should not worry, because if you're joining a studio as a beginner, they will understand that you're a beginner and they will give you only as much work as you can do. And soon when you will graduate, when you will do more animation, and you will see, like, to me, many times I do a lot of animation in 1 week, and sometimes when I'm working on a very polished, very quality animation shot, then I do very little animation also. It just all depends on how much the studio work, what studio is expecting from you. So, but yeah, it just all depends on how much you can do, and studio will see that, and they won't, unless it's a stupid studio who want to suck your blood, then they will let you work like hell. But if the studio is good, they're understanding you, they will give you as much work as you can do. So so there is another question from Bip Savvy. Do you manually keyframe the jiggle or noise in value? I frankly I like to manually keyframe everything. If I'm adding some muscle jiggle movement in the body, I just do it manually. I like doing that kind of stuff in a rig after your animation is done. When you try to do especially when you're animating a roar, you need to see that air coming from inside your inside your dinosaur, so that you can feel the roar. The roar is not just opening of a mouth, it's like the roar is your whole body is roaring, so you have to do all kind of stuff in the body, especially the jiggle part. So yes, the jiggle is I like to keyframe everything. I wish this rig have more jiggle controllers. I wish there were some jiggle controllers in the legs, in this part of the leg, in the back body, maybe some under the tail, some of this part of the body, and maybe some more on the side of the neck. I wish it had more jiggle, but it don't, so what can we do? Okay, so let's do we were on frame 37. We have to make a roll here. and let's try to make a nice roll, and we will okay, so I think this is a good enough roll. Okay, so I think this seems like a good enough roll here. So let's see how it looks in animation. Okay, so we'll go and we'll add it in between here somewhere, maybe on frame 35 and maybe on 34 as well. So for this side fingers, we'll add in between on frame 34. So we'll add just a normal something like this, and on frame 34 maybe a little bit. Okay, now we'll do something on frame the middle finger as well, and maybe let's do this one first. And so I think it's better to make this kind of roll by yourself, and if you have a roll in attributes, you won't be able to do much detail, but right now because of this detail it will look even better. So I'll go on frame 34 and I will try to make in between here. Okay, I think this is not a good in between, but let's see. Let me okay, this is better. Okay, so I think I forgot to key on some controllers on frame 37. Okay, so I think this seems like a good pose to me, and yeah, this is a good enough. Okay, so here we can see the foot is rolling nicely. So there is one bad thing happening here. So when the foot starts rolling, maybe from, we'll key here on frame 27, here you guys can see that it's going up a little bit, so we will do counter animation, and okay, so not bad, right? Not bad. So okay, so let's do some finger animation when the foot is landing as well, so that you become an animator. Okay, so Jarud asked me what inspired me to become an animator. Okay, so that's a really interesting question. I frankly, like, when I started, I used to do a drawing. So when I went to college, I realized that I'm not. I used to think that I'm a good drawing, but I'm good in drawing. But when I saw some other artists who were really good in drawing, I was thinking, oh man, I did a very big mistake coming to this field, that I don't know anything about drawing. So then I slowly graduated to modeling. I started doing modeling, then I started doing rigging. When I was in college, when I started doing modeling, I thought, oh, I'm going to be a modeler, then I'm going to start doing texturing, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But in the end, when I start doing animation, and I loved it, I was good at it. From the first day, I think I was good at it, and like I felt like I found something which I was good at, and like even in my school, I can feel that, you know, I feel that I enjoy doing that. And so it's just a nothing inspired me, I think. I just needed to do something, and I love doing this. I found out, luckily I found something, but yeah, definitely from the first day I want to become an artist. And before, I thought maybe I will become a, I had no idea in my school days that there is a job called animation. Like when I was in school, I had no idea there's a, like, how, what, who does this kind of animations. And when I went to school, even that time I had no idea about this. But when I yeah, it's like that's how life, you know, it takes you on different directions. And yeah, life been pretty good to me from the time I figured out how to do animation. So here we are going to make a landing animation. We need to see that as soon as the foot land, we will see, I want to see the foot, something happening in the foot when, as soon as it land. So okay, so we will go on frame 46, maybe frame yeah, let's go on frame 46, and we will add a little bit yeah, I think maybe I will add a little bit roll in the entire foot at frame roll means the little bit curl in the foot, so that when it land, we will see a something happening in the foot. And so on frame 46, okay, so okay, so I will add a little bit. I just selected everything. I don't want to do each and every finger separately. So and maybe on frame 49 I will add a manual roll. I'll key everything on frame 46, and on maybe on frame 49 I will kind of make a manual pose, so that on frame 49 is somehow like this, and on frame 50 this is spreading, and then after frame 50 it's going to spread a little bit more. So I'll make a pose manually here. Okay, so so I think this seems like a good landing pose for foot. I'm not sure if this is how dinosaurs should land, but that's just for experimenting. Let's see how. Okay, so this and on frame after this yeah, so we have to come here and we have to make this part smooth, and so that we feel the thing happening. Okay, so there's another question. Sir, as per thinking about principles, there's a very interesting question from Siam. Okay, so I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name correctly, and I have to tell you that I'll recommend you. I made a video called My 5 Principles of Animation. So I used to think about those 12 principles when I started, but slowly I realized I have to make my own 5 principles, and I figured out my own way of animating. So I will recommend you to watch my 5 principles of animation video. In that I shared what 5 principles do I think about when I animate. So I think that video might be helpful for you. So there's another question. Elias, tell us your name. My name is Navdeep Singh, so my nickname is Nav. So yeah, that's my name. And thanks, Raman. Welcome. I think yeah, hopefully you're liking it. Raman God. Okay, so yeah, this seems like a good it's more fun, like when you do a live animation, and when somebody asks you this question. I'm really liking it. I think it's fun, and and I have to say, I'm not that good of animator. I know many, but I think I love doing animation, so whatever it can uh, if it can help you guys, I'm happy. So okay. Hey, Bip Savvy, I know, I personally, I don't talk about the company at all. Like you might find on where I work, but I don't talk about that stuff, because yeah, like you can ask me anything, but it's like, you know, when you start working at a company, when you start working on projects, you are not supposed to talk about anything. So I like to just keep everything you know, out of the league. So I just, you know, I try not to talk anything about because yeah, and yeah, you can earn good if you are a good animator. And I mean, you can make a good living in this field, and you can't expect to be a super rich person. That's definitely, but maybe it doesn't, I can't, I don't believe that, you know. I'm always learning. Right now I'm an animator, but I'm always learning new things. I want to be a filmmaker, but I still find different sources to learn. I try to write sometimes. I'm not going to be animator whole of my life. Maybe I will be, but maybe not. But I'm trying to always learn. I think it's not, it's just, you know, you trying to learn, you're trying to teach more things to yourself and growing in your life. It's more about and you will earn if you are dedicated. You will definitely earn good money. Sorry about another question, but it's a good idea to animate in dialogue with creatures like dragon example. Okay, so a man X asks me that is a good idea to animate a dialogue with dragon. Maybe yes, like if with creatures, if you're animating a dialogue, you have to definitely animate a super realistic. I know big companies, they like to see a very realistic facial animation. I mean, when I say realistic, you have to think like movies like Avatar, uh, Planet of the Apes, the kind of animation you see on the face. I know they do a lot of motion capture, but at some point you have to do a very hyper realistic animation. So I never tried you know, I never tried doing cartoon animation. I wanted to, but I never tried it in my life. I always wanted to, but I never spent time doing cartoon animation, doing facial animation. I in my life, yeah, I got some chances. I did good enough job doing a facial animation and a cartoon animation, but I'm not a big fan of it. And but yeah, it definitely helps if you can try doing some shots in your demo reel for facial animation. But with creatures, I will say definitely go with hyper realistic animation. And animation do you recommend to a person who is studying in area? How many hours of animation do you recommend to a person who is studying in this area? So there is another question from Elias. Okay, see, when you start working, you almost do animation for 8 to 9 hours every day. So I still come back home after working, and I do my own stuff. I make my own animations. I am currently working in my own projects. I am trying to make a short film, and so yeah, I come back and I work on my own projects, and I just love doing it. So I don't really think about hours, but yeah, the maximum time you can spend, and it's better. Okay, so I'm sorry, I know my answers are not to the point, especially when what I learn in my life, there are no perfect answers, especially in how much you can do, how much. It all depends on individuals. Like maybe you will, nobody knows where you will get in future. So I try to stay away from, you know, absolute answers. I will just give you answer of maybe, but I can give you absolute answer about animation, but not about life. So yeah, so let's I think this is a good animation for the foot, and I think it's time that we can transfer this animation to the left side of the foot. And okay, so let's do that then. Okay, so there's one thing, I know you guys must have heard about this animbot. Animbot is really a nice plugin, but it's expensive. If you guys want to buy it, go ahead. It's a very nice. I'm still using trial version. I'm still trying to teach myself. You will get a good number of tools here, and they will help you a lot, especially if you want to transfer your foot transfer animation from one side of the body to another side. It's a very nice tool. So right now I will show you guys. First let me save it. I can easily transfer my my left foot animation to my right foot just by clicking one button. And so okay, so how will we do that? I'll just select all my controllers, and I'll make sure all my controllers have keys on proper keys. Okay, so now I will just go ahead and I will click on this. I'm pretty sure this will not work properly because I think this animbot doesn't recognize what kind of tangents you're having. So let me try. Okay, so yeah, so I think we got something happening here. So oh man, I think it does. Yeah, okay, we have to shift the animation. So as everything is selected already, I'll go to frame 25 and I will shift everything. So as you guys are seeing right now, it did something, but it's still imperfect. Okay, I have to cycle it as well. Okay, this animbot, what it does, it already transferred this foot animation to the right hand side, and which saved me a lot of time. But as you guys can see, it's not perfect. It's not doing what I thought that it will do. So let's see how we can and moreover it did not transfer the keys properly. So what we'll do, we'll keep everything here, but we will go here and we'll copy. I don't want to copy each and every fingers. I don't want to copy each and every animation on each and every finger. For fingers, I'll keep it like this, but for other controllers, for example, especially the foot and everything, and I will just do it manually. I'll copy here and I will go on this, and I will delete this. I'll try to just do it manually. What I'm doing, I'm just manually copying and pasting the animation, and I think I have to switch the Y rotation. I'm going to select the Y curve here. I think the Y rotation should not be this way. It should be opposite. So what I'm going to do, just going to select this curve. As here you guys are seeing minus 13. I'm just going to remove the minus so that it's plus 13. So now it's good. Other thing is, I think maybe Z also need to be I don't know. I think I see a weird thing happening, and the foot is kind of lifted from this side. Not sure why this is happening, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so I'm pretty sure it's because of this oh man, I think there's a weird thing happening here. I think I'll just go back and I'll just paste everything manually. And see, these plugins, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. And in this foot animation transfer, I think it didn't work properly. So I will stay away from it, and I'll go ahead and I'll try to do it manually. And okay, yeah. Yeah, so now we'll try to copy the foot animation manually. I'll go ahead and I will try to maybe a little bit. Okay, there are some few more questions and okay, so the I think Elias asked how to repeat this cycle. You have to click on these things. So if you want to repeat those cycles, you have to just go to curves and pre-infinity, and you have to set it to cycle. Select the curve, go to pre-infinity cycle, and go to post-infinity and cycle as well. And to see these things, you have to go to view and turn on the infinity. That's how you're going to see everything. And I will continue with my animation, and I don't want to make this this video too long, and I'm going to start copying this animation from this foot to that foot. We already spent 1.5 hours just on feet, and we have to spend good enough time on the body as well. So I think at this time we have to quickly finish the foot, and we have to go on the body. I'll copy all keys from here. I'll go here and I will go to frame 25 and I'll paste it. Okay, so here we have to reverse some of the controllers because some are, so for example, if I select both of them, I will rotate them. So these Y rotation is happening in the same direction, that means we have to reverse the Y. Z rotation is happening in the same direction, so we have to reverse the Z. X rotation is fine, we don't have to worry about that. And okay, let's do that. Y and Z I'll select, and I will select both of them. I'll go to edit, scale. I'm going to just flip those things, so I'll again go to edit, scale. I'll make the value scale to -1 because I set it to -1. It'll just flip everything from the, and my pivot of flipping is 0, so I'll scale keys. This way it flipped everything. I think oh man, I think I flipped the wrong controller, sorry. Okay, and Y and Z, and scale. Okay, yeah, so now I think we have something going on here. Let's do the other controller as well quickly. I don't want to spend too much time on this. Okay, one by one, and copy everything and then select. Yeah, so this thing is happening, and now we have to copy the fingers. I'll do one by one. I tried copying all the fingers at once. It didn't work properly, so I'm sorry. You guys have to see through me. You guys have to see me animate copying all the fingers separately. So let's see if one finger at a time should work. Let's see if it works. See, it's not working properly. Something is messing up always. Let's do one thing. We already spent a lot of time on fingers. Let's not worry about the fingers anymore. I'm just going to, I think the foot looks good enough to me, and now I'm just going to go ahead and okay, so there's one more thing. There's a popping happening here. I just have to cycle the curves, and yeah, so now it's time to move to the body. We spend enough time on the foot. In the end, when we are done with the foot animation, we will transfer the finger animation as well, but for now I think it's good. And okay, so there's some few more questions. In production, animators following the same timing from the reference for realistic animation. Yes, like if you're trying to make exactly the same animation as reference, and so yeah, that's what you do. You try to keep this, your reference video should be 24 frames, and if it's not 24 frames cycle, 24 frames video, then you might want to go to Premiere and convert that video to 24. So yeah, so you try to keep the same timing as your reference if you are trying to copy, if you're trying to make exactly same animation. And but it depends. If your guy is small and your creature is big, then you have to do think about you have to use your imagination. So it depends on what kind of creature you are animating. So so now I will go ahead and I will start working on the body. So I already made up and down in the body. And okay, so this I have to do one more thing here, and I am not seeing the oh, there is one controller missing here. We have to find out where it is. Okay, we are missing the leg controller of this. So so as you guys are seeing, the controller of this left foot is right. Okay, I think it's here. Oh yeah, I found it, sorry. Okay, so I'm going to move it a little bit on side. So we have a good enough foot animation here. So now we are going to start animating the body, and we already animated the up and down, and I think I don't have problem with this up and down. I think this is good enough. And now maybe I'll start doing some weight shift. And you guys might ask that why don't we do weight shift on this controller? We can do on this we can do weight shift on this one. Right now I won't use this controller, I will use it later if I need to. Right now I will just try to do a weight shift on this part of the controller. I like to animate the weight shift on each part of the body separately. Like for now, for example, I'm going to add weight shift on the hips. I will add the hips shifting weight. So for example, these hips will shift weight, and in future I will, after I'm done with that, then I'll go ahead and I'll add weight shift in the front body, then in the head. So we will go through it and we'll see how it done. And oh, something is, I did something weird. Okay, so I'll just delete this. Okay, maybe I'll just go back. Okay, so now let's add some weight shift. So I can imagine on, as now this foot landed, the left foot landed on frame 0, and so I can imagine by frame 8 the weight should be already on this landed foot. So I will go ahead and I'll go to X curve, and I will add a key here, and I'll go to curve, post infinity, and I'll keep it constant. It's cycling right now, which is going to cause trouble for me. So as I'm right now trying to work on this, it might it will cause me trouble because it's trying to cycle whatever key I do. So I'll just go ahead, I'll select everything, and I will make everything constant for now, so that I don't have to see this thing happening. Maybe later I'll do that, but for now I'll keep it constant. It's tiredful to keep talking for such a long time. I need to drink water. So guys, how's everybody doing with their with this coronavirus situation? I hope you guys are staying indoors, and I hope this time will pass. I'm sitting in this room in my apartment from last 3 weeks. I didn't even step out for once, and I think it's quite intense to live like this. And I hope you guys are doing good, and please let me know if you guys so how are you guys spending time at home, and I would love to know how other animators are living right now. So okay, I will do animation exercise. Do you recommend to those who have been okay, what animation exercise do you recommend to those who have those of us who have 1 or 2 years of experience? See, I will just say that if you like doing this Elias is asking that what kind of animation should a experienced animator should do if you have 1 or 2 years of experience. So what kind of animation exercise should you be doing? So I think you should be doing whatever you think you are weak at. So if you want to do it, so let's say right now if you're weak on creature animation and you want to do creature animation, then you should be trying to do creature animation at home. And if you want to learn from somewhere, if you want to go join some school, like there are so many online schools, you can go ahead and join, or you can try learning on your own. It totally depends on you. So yeah, for me, I think if I'm trying to learn something new, I will just learn something which I'm weak at and polish what you already know. It's a very I think I'm a bad person to ask this question. So okay, so I'm trying to do a weight shift on so here by frame 17, as you guys can see, the Spinosaur is trying to raise his foot in the air. So this foot is trying to pass. We still have to bring this foot closer to this foot. This foot will pass from we have to do some more detailing in the foot. We'll do in the end. So for now, let's say like this. So this body weight will shift on the left side, and we'll try to make it happen nicely. And okay, so on frame, okay, on frame 25, it seems like this this should be an ideal pose for the body. So but if we are keeping this pose on frame 25, if we are keeping the x on, and if we are keeping the value here at 1, so we have to do one more thing. On 0 it should be -1, because on 1, on 0 this foot is landing, and on 25 this foot is landing. So I want to keep my x kind of consistent. So because of that, I'm gonna go here and I'm going to add -1 here. And yes, yeah, this hey Manish, this stream will be available to watch later, so I don't think you missed anything. Yeah, so okay, so maybe this seems like an ideal pose. And I'm just trying to make a consistent weight shift here. And so okay, let's try to so now on frame 25 this he will land on this foot, and now in next 8 frames his weight will shift on other side. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 until frame 33, again the weight will shift on other side to maybe 1.5. So I will make this weight shift, and then I will go ahead and I'll try to make the front body, then I'll try to make it the front body react to this weight shift. So as you guys can see that there's a weight shift happening on frame 33, it's shifting on this side. And then we'll see here on frame 17, we'll add 17 here. Okay, so 1 minute is okay, so I will add a little bit more shift here, 2.7, so I'll keep 2.7 here as well. Okay, so and the last frame can be the same as this one, so I'll copy this value and I'll add a key here. And I hope you guys are understanding what I'm trying to do here. Is okay, I'm just trying to make a nice weight shift happening here. Okay, I'm copying by doing animation practice regarding Netflix eating noise exercise. watching now on YouTube. Hey Jarul, I know it's hard to animate at home. Right now I'm working from home, and I know how hard it is to work from home. The work which I do in studio, it take me way longer than if I have to produce the same amount of work at home. It takes a long time. I know it's hard to work at home, but you have to do what you have to do. There's no bypass. I wish you have to keep doing, you have to keep pushing yourself. So I'll say good luck. And okay, so I think this seems like a good enough weight shift, but I'm feeling that there's there's a weight missing here, and it seems like a quite basic weight shift. I'm not feeling a kind of, we need to feel like a boom kind of thing here. But as soon as he step on the foot, I think we need to add some, especially when the foot weight is going down. And okay, so this one I would like to give you guys, there are 12 people watching right now, so I would like to tell you a very important thing. So I will say, let's say right now you're working on hip controller. I will say go and work on each and every axis here. Go to x-axis, go to y-axis, go to z-axis, go to x, rotation x, rotation y, rotation z. Try to add something in that, and then you will see some nice you will see some nice things happening in the body. So okay, so and we'll try to do that right now. And so we are done now. I think I need to polish my up and down a little bit. And okay, so I think I will add a little bit more intense weight fall on the foot, and I will let this fall more faster, and I will keep it down for a little bit more longer, and I will something like this, so that we can feel the weight a little bit longer. And he took some time to push himself back up again. So and he will push from frame 8, so I think maybe we can keep it like this, but a little bit down. And then from 8 he used his this foot to push himself back up again, and maybe he can go a little bit more up. And okay, let's see how this looks. Yeah, I think it's not bad. And yeah, I think this is good enough. Now we'll go to Z. So at this point I don't think we need to do anything with translation Z, because this is Z, and we can avoid doing that right now. And we'll go to the rotation now, and I will start with adding the Z rotation. So I think Z rotation is really important. So as you guys are seeing, like he's trying to land on frame 0. So frame 0 we will give a nice Z rotation here, and maybe let's say I will rotate more towards I will lift the right side right now, because his weight is still on this foot, on the right side. So I will give a little bit more lift on the right side, and I'll go on here. Okay, so as soon as the weight is shifted on this foot, on the left foot, so the hip will shift towards the left side. So maybe in 5 frames the rotation will shift towards the left side. So that's what I'm doing here. From frame 0 to frame 5 the weight is shifting on other side. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, so here okay, so as you guys are seeing, from frame 0 to frame 5 there is a weight shift happening. So because of that weight shift, the weight should be falling on other leg, and because of that that side of the leg will lift up. So that's what we are trying to do here. We are trying to, from frame 0 to 5, I think it will take 5 frames for weight to fall from 0 to from right leg to left leg, and that's what we are trying to do here. And there are some few more questions. Okay, yeah, hey, Bipsavi is asking if I can show a Spino roar. I would like to share a personal experience with Spino roar. I know you guys must have seen my Spino roar animation, in which Spinosaurus is throwing away the I-Rex and he's roaring. It took a lot of time for me to animate that shot, and because the reason I'm saying that is why it took me such a long time is it was a fresh, I was trying to make a fresh animation at that time. I was trying to make a new kind of roar, and I'm not saying it was a new roar. There, you guys must have seen many different roar, but I was trying to make it all from my own mind. I was really not using any reference. Yeah, definitely I've seen a lot of tigers and lions roaring, but here there was a very big mouse trying to roar, like, and I've never, like, so yeah, I was trying to make a new thing, and it frankly, I spent almost 1 month in making that roar, which you guys seen in that animation. It took me almost 1 month, not working straight for 1 month, but I was spending 1 hour or like sometimes 2 hours in like maybe 4 to 5 days in a week. I was trying to spend, so it took me a long time to animate that roar, and but yeah, definitely I can share some of my experience, how did I make that. So yeah, we'll talk about it. So for now, so yeah, so this weight is shifting from left leg to right leg. That's why we are rotating this thing, and then this weight will remain on that leg till let's say till frame 20. I will keep somehow like this, and this is minus 4.94. I'll keep the same value on frame 5, and oh sorry, and then again the weight will shift on the left side, and again in 5 frames the weight will go back to this left side. We will try to animate the same way, and okay, so yeah, I think so. Now we are seeing some kind of weight shift happening. It's not looking good, but it will look good in future. Okay, so I think the weight shift is quite fast. 5 frame must be too fast for this. Yeah, let's try to make it a little bit more smoother. So frame, I will shift this a little bit, maybe 3 frames earlier. Okay, and I'll also turn on the cycle for this. I will just turn on cycle for all of these. I'll just select the whole curve, and I'll select the cycle. Okay, okay, we are seeing one more problem here. The Y thing, the Y curve is not working properly because we had mistakenly added key in the end. So now it will be better. Let's see how it looks now. Oh, way better. So because we did this mistake in Y, I think maybe that's why it was not looking good. Let's see again, and I will shift this also 3 frames earlier. I'm just trying to add a nice hip movement. So I'm sure you guys must have observed a lot of hips. So when we step on one hip, if let's say if we are stepping on right foot, the right hip will go a little bit up, and if you're stepping on left foot, the left hip will go a little bit up. So that's because of the weight shift, and because weight is falling on one side, and that's what I'm trying to do here. And I think the up and down, I'm not liking it yet. Maybe I'll go back to Y curve right now, and I will try to modify it. Okay, so the weight is falling down, and I think maybe I'll just push this curve a little bit up. I want to see okay, see, like, you have to keep observing as you keep doing animation. You have to keep going back to other older curves, and you have to, that's my way of working. I keep going back and forth, and I try to polish as much as possible. Yeah, I think, yeah, this is making sense. It's making more sense. Okay, so now I will go to maybe rotation X, and I'll try to add more detail in rotation X. Okay, so what will happen as soon as he will land on this foot? Let's find the first pose. Let's find a nice first pose, and then we will go ahead from there. Okay, there are a few. Here, please give me them tips. Okay, so yeah, in the end we will go on tails. Miss Sam asked me how to animate the tail, so by the end we will go on the tail. So we'll try to find nice pose for the back hip, and okay, this seems like a nice pose for the back hip. We don't need the entire, we only need half of the time, because rotation X is happening in one direction only, so we only need one cycle, and then we can make it infinity. So I'm going to delete the last key, and on frame 12 I can add another key, and I can rotate like this. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here, as soon as he's landing on one foot, I'm trying to add the, so as soon as I'm landing, so I'm trying to add the in X, he's this kind of rotation. So as soon as he's landing on one foot, there is a rotation happening on that side, and then he's going back, and again. So that's what I'm trying to do. As soon as he landed on X, so he is rotating on front side, and then after rotation I'll keep it for maybe I'll give more weight on the front side, and like, as you guys can see right now, there's a good weight coming to the back body, and I think maybe I can speed up a little bit more. So I think I will speed it up a little bit more. Okay, so let's see how it looks. The real thing we'll see only after we are done with the front body. And okay, so now I think we are good with the X. Now we will go to Y. Yeah, so Y, definitely Y is very important. So on frame 0, this body should be a little bit like this, turning towards the Y direction like this, and on frame 25, okay, I'll copy this same value and paste it in the end, minus 14.538. the same value will go on the last key, and we will go on frame 25, and we will do the reverse of that same value, so that we are seeing a nice Y movement here. And now I think we might want to modify that Y movement a little bit. It seems nice to me. So let me show you guys again the whole animation without the controllers. Yep, I think we can see a good weight already on the back body. We will go back on the foot and we'll try to put some more work on the foot, and we still have to transfer the animation from one foot to another foot. But I think, yeah, we can already see a good weight happening in the back body. So there's another question from Elias. Do you think yes, yeah. So Elias asked me that do you think that in industry animators use the already made cycle, or do they create new cycle uh, for every shot? So no, that never happened. Animators usually use the already stored cycle. At least, yeah, that is the case in every nobody will see. The companies are based on profits, so they have to spend as less time as possible and make as best animation as possible. So if you start making new cycle for each and every shot, I think that will be bad idea. So I think the first thing you do for when you start making on a project, so they will let you make nice cycles for each character, so that you can use the same cycle, so that each cycle is not different. So they will let good animators make some nice cycles, and they use those cycles for the entire show. And so yeah, so here okay, I think we are done with the hip part of the body, and now we'll go ahead and to the front body. After we are done with the front body, then we'll go to the head, and after we are done with the head, then we'll go to the entire body. We'll try to add something there. And yeah, so okay, so this is root, and maybe in the end we will let the Spinosaurs follow base. What is follow base? If follow base by turning it on, I don't know what the hell is follow base. Yeah, I don't know. We'll talk about it later. Okay, so I was thinking follow base is it will follow this thing, but that's not happening. Yeah, so now let's go to the front body. And so I will just add a key on frame 0 and frame 50, and you find Jarud asked me if he asked me that is it better to have a deadline? Like, do you work better with a deadline? Definitely without deadline. I that's the problem with my personal projects. My personal projects get extended and extended because there's nobody pushing me to do that, and it's just up to me. That's the, I mean, if you can that's the basics of time management you were talking about. So in time management, if you ever read a book, I was reading a book, it's called Thinking Rich, I something like that, I forgot the name, but in that book the author mentioned that the hardest part of managing time is managing time for the things which will happen far ahead in future. So you have to manage time for exercise, because you know that far ahead in future, after 10 years, you will be a fat guy by living that kind of lifestyle. But right now you don't manage time for that, because that much you can't see that much far ahead. There are other parts also of managing time, the things which you do daily, the things which you which are necessary, the things which are unnecessary. There are many things, but I think the hardest way to manage time is the things which will happen far ahead in future. So and this animation is like if you're working on your own reel, and you don't have deadline for that, and there is nobody pushing you, and that you need patience for that, because that animation will be ready after maybe 15 days, 1 month, 2 months, and you need to manage time, because by saving small time, the work will get better and better. And you have to start managing time, or give yourself a deadline, and that's a part of time management. You have to manage time. And if somebody can definitely in if you're working for somebody, you have to manage time, otherwise that guy will fire you, the company will fire you. You have to manage your time properly. But to work your own reel, definitely you need to manage your time, and you need to give yourself a good deadline. So I hope that this answers your question, Jarud. So now we will continue with animation. So okay, so I will go ahead and I will start working with y-axis for first. I will first key on frame 0, 50, and maybe I'll key on frame 25 as well. And now first I will start by animating y-axis. Okay, so and okay, sorry, yeah. Okay, so I will go on frame 9. I feel like by frame 9 this front body will be down. So I'll go ahead on frame y-axis. I'll insert a key and I will move it down. We don't need the last key for this because we are going to cycle the same on both foot. And this might be too low. Okay, so right now about the front body, like here I'm talking about this front body, this where the hands are attached. So there are different ways to think about the front body. The first way is you can think like, you know, the front body is just a follow through of the back body. So the back body is stepping, is walking, and the front body is just following through. The follow through is happening in the front body. But that's true. Like maybe I can say 30% of the time that's true. But you also have to think that the Spinosaurus is not a dead body. It's not a dead body. The follow through happening. There are muscles in there. That there are the front body also have a role in his body. It's not just a thing which is you know, the follow through is happening. There are muscles in front body. So yeah, right now I'm going to add some follow through, but at the same time I'm also thinking there are muscles in that body, that part of the body, and it need to control itself as well. The front body need to control itself, and it need to be controlled by follow through as well. So both of the things should happen at the same time. So right now I'm just trying to think about the follow through, and I will keep thinking about how it should control itself. Yeah, let's see how it goes in the end. Okay, so yeah, something is missing. Okay, I'm just thinking about up and down here. Maybe I will shift the entire curve and see how it looks. That's a bad idea. I feel that the front body need to be moved down a lot. I think it's too much up. I'm gonna move the front body a little bit down, maybe this might be a good spot. And now let's try moving just one frame back. And hopefully I'm happy that this video is doing better than my last video. In my last video maximum there was only 3 or 4 people, and at least right now there are 10, 11, 12 people, so this I think that's progress. Yeah, so I think that should be good enough, up and down. Okay, so there is one thing, and hey guys, if you guys are watching live, right now there are not that many good things to watch on internet. Netflix, oh man, I'm bored watching everything. There are no new things. So if you guys come across some nice TV series or anything, please let me know. I'm dying to see something nice, but it's so boring these days. There's nothing good to watch on Netflix, and it's all same kind of TV series. I'm trying to find something interesting, but yeah, if you guys as right now I'm saying that there are 10 people online. If you guys know something, and then please let me know. Okay, so I think I am good with up and down of Y here. It seems like it's almost like a moving like a back body right now, and let me try to yeah, this should be good enough. And maybe now let's try to work on side to side axis, Y axis, and let's see how the side to side axis work, and not Y, sorry, X axis. So as you guys can see, there's a huge weight shift happening in the back body, and that weight shift can't just happen in the back body, it need to come in the front body as well. So I will go on maybe frame 0 first, and I'll move it in X, and just move the first and last frame on the lower side. Okay, seems like good enough. It's 2.38. okay, I'll move the same amount on other side. I'm just copying the same amount of weight on. Okay, so now same amount of value. So as soon as it landed on this feed, I think the front body is quite slow. So by frame 8, I think we should be moving this hey guys, are you guys still there, or okay. Okay, so from 0 to 11 it moved on right side, and then again that same thing will happen from 25 to 36. It will move on other side. Okay, so let's try to make it look nice. thanks. Yeah, hey Jarud, that's a yeah, but yeah, it's a good time pass, but no, yeah, let's not talk about that. Many of my professional friends are also must be watching me, so uh, I'll still continue animating. So okay, so on X axis here, I think it seems like a okay, I need to add a little bit more follow through here, and so what's happening? Okay, so you guys, I am sorry, it's taking a little bit time to make this animation. And so thanks for the suggestions, Jarud, and nice to know that you guys are here. And yeah, so Elias asked me that if I are you asking me that should I do a live animation in Zoom? Yeah, I think once I have some good once I have some good group, and like maybe who like to who like to learn not live, maybe I can do on Zoom classes as well. And yeah, I think Office I watch is really nice, and I'm still watching it. Thanks for suggesting Masim. And yeah, we'll try to think more about like doing maybe Zoom classes in future. So yeah, I think this should be good enough axis movement. And now I will try to go to Z. Yep, I think I will come back on Z later. And let's do some rotations, maybe X rotation first. And okay, so okay, so again, I'm just thinking in a kind of follow-through way. So this X rotation is kind of when the weight, actually the weight is it travels like in waves. So here at this point, let's say you when your weight shift on one side of the foot, and that wave, when the the foot, I'm sorry how to explain that, the fall of the weight will travel in the entire body in a wave. That's why the tail is this kind of things are happening in the tail, because of that. Once, let's say this is my back body, if the back body is falling, the wave will travel in the entire body. So I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to mean. So that's what I'm trying to do here, and I'm trying to add, I'm trying to create a wave in the body. And so the wave is the same concept of the wave in the roar. If you're trying to make a roar animation, the wave should be starting from your tummy, because that's where the air you are trying to push outside, and so that it's trying to come out from the tummy, and we need to see the wave coming out from the tummy to mouth. And I think that's how a nice roar animation, that's how you can make a nice roar animation. Yeah. Okay, so Yeah, zoom will be a nice option. It's just right now I think, you know, that would, if I'm trying to get paid to do some classes, there are some nice online school, and if I'm I think, yeah, that would be a good option. But it's just taking classes by Zoom. I'm just trying to answer Elias uh, question that it's just right now there are too many things going on, because I'm trying to work for my employer, I'm trying to do my own projects, and after that I'm trying to do this tutorials, and I'm just, it's too many things happening to you know, add anything new in the life. So right now, okay, we were trying to add y rotation, x rotation in the front body. So as you guys can see, like, it's already, the body animation is kind of coming along. We can already see that the nice movement happening in the body. And now let's move on to the z rotation. Let's see how the z rotation should move. So we will try to okay, so on frame 0 we will try to inverse the z rotation. Let me quickly save it. Okay, so now we will work on this z rotation here. So on frame, as soon as this dinosaur will step, there should be a kind of follow through in the z rotation. So maybe I will add as soon as it's stepping on the left foot, so I will make it inverse. Maybe till 15. The weight will go on other side, and oh man, I wish that was possible, Elias. Yeah. Okay, so okay, so maybe 15, and from I think I might delay it a little bit. Let's see how it looks. Okay, so now I'll try to add a little bit more detail. I think the follow through on the body should be acting a little bit, should act a little bit differently. So I'm sorry. Okay, so let's see how the, I think it's not bad, but we can't see the weight properly on the front body. Okay, there are So Masim asks a good question, like how do you animate a muscle jiggle? And there's a Elias asked question, did you okay. Yeah, so yeah, I'm trying to take as much time. Yeah, we'll see how much time it take. But yeah, Masim, like to make the muscle jiggle, I kind of I don't use animation layers, but I do like if you remember like if you ever made a kind of pendulum, like first you just make two poses and then you add delay in separate controllers and then you get a nice pendulum move. So I kind of use the same concept for the jiggle. First I make kind of a base poses. I just make kind some so let's say I will make uh, yeah, I will try to add some follow through in the jiggle, and then I will add a kind of a follow through, like I will add some delay in different controllers, and that way we will see a nice maybe if we have time we'll try to do that here. And okay, so we will trying to add a nice weight in the front body. So that's why all you guys are seeing all these weird controllers here, weird curves here. I think this should be good enough, and let's just move on to the Y now. Okay, so okay, so there's another question by Elias. At the end of video, show me how you can add the default textures of Spinosaurs. Yeah, for textures we'll try to add, and so definitely you can transfer this animation on another Spinosaurus, but not on other dinosaur. For that everything need to be same in rig. All the controller names, all the hierarchies need to be same to transfer this animation to another. So yeah, so I will by the end I'll try to do jiggle. I'll try to turn on the textures. And okay, so for texture, I think right now the Maya don't know where are the texture. If I can just go to each shader and if I can show where are the textures, that would be that's all. Then we will see the textures here. And okay, so now we are trying to add Y rotation here. Okay. Okay, so again what I'm trying to do here is trying to make everything good, all the curves good here. Frankly, right now it's taking more longer time to animate this, but otherwise I do it way faster than this, just because I have to speak whatever I'm doing, and I'm not good in speaking. I'm not a good speaker. I'm not a very social person, so it's taking more time, but otherwise it would be way faster than this if I don't have to speak at all, and if I can just keep animating. Okay, yeah, I think this animal is moving perfectly. There is some question from Jarud, Jurassic. Hey Jarud, VR. Frankly, I never. In my life I only tried VR like couple times, and I don't play much games. There are VR games and all, and so I think I might be a bad person to ask about VR, but yeah, I think it might have a good future, especially for gaming and all. But for me, I feel that it's more about, for me, I care more about storytelling. Even if I see an old film, like, you know, a black and white shitty resolution, if I like the quality of it, and that's all I care about, you know. But yeah, a VR would be a good visual to have, but I am not really a very, I don't have much knowledge about it. But definitely, you know, in VR, like if you there are not good enough animators to animate for VR. For VR, you definitely need to animate nicely from each and every angle, and yeah, it would be you know, not good person to say many things about VR, but sorry. Okay, so I think this might be good enough animation for the back body, and okay, let's do one more thing. Now we can just I think this is a good enough detail. We will try to animate the head a little bit, and then we'll just move on to we'll do a little bit more in the global, and then we will just do some animation in the tail and hands. It's already 2.5 hours, and I think that's a long time, and so we'll try to finish this as soon as possible now. And I think this is it's coming along nicely. And there's one more thing we can do. We can just select the feet. I think the travel distance of the feet is not good enough yet, so let's say this feet is leaving the ground on frame 32. I will just select the Z curve here, and I will move a little bit more further. I think it would be more interesting to see the foot leaving the ground with this much stretch, and it would be more interesting to see the foot landing on the ground with a little bit more stretch, maybe somehow like sorry, maybe somehow like this. Yeah, this makes more sense. Okay, I will reduce a little bit. Okay, and now I will add a little bit Z movement as well, front and back. I want to see some squashing happening in this body, so I'm going to I'm going to make this the body part of the animation. The body, I want to see some little bit squashing happening, not too much, just a little bit, to make it a little bit interesting. So so from frame 0 to frame 10, I'm going to animate, add a key on the back body. Right now I'm working on the back body. I'm going to okay, okay, so I will come on frame 25. I will just keep this 0, same again. I'm just trying to add some movement happening in the okay. Okay, so okay, so now I'm trying to add some Z movement uh, in the front body, just to let me see how it looks. Okay, so yeah, I think not bad, right? And so I think now I will just do some more movement, some movement in the head. It might be a good time to move to the head, and so again, like here the head should be quite stable. I should not be adding too much movement in the head. The head will remain quite stable, and I see many people adding a lot of kind of movements in the head, but the head is kind of if you see all kind of animals, they try to keep their head stable, they try to keep their arts, so they try to keep their eyes, and they try, you can't keep shaking your brain, like you will get dizzy and die out of it. So you will try to keep your head and eyes more stable. So yeah, I think yeah, they say that you can go to bathroom and if you want and take some water. Yeah, definitely I wish I can, I need right now to drink tea, not bathroom, but definitely I think I'll just finish this thing first. I think Jarur asked me if I become a filmmaker, will I still keep my hand in animation, or should I just stop doing animation? I think I can never leave animation in my life. I think this is a very, I'm lucky that I have kind of a good knowledge in everything. I'm not best modeler, I'm not best texturing artist, I'm not best rigger, not best compositor, I'm not best lighting artist, but I have kind of good knowledge, I mean kind of basic knowledge of all this stuff. And I think I'm good enough in animating. So combination of these skills, and I kind of, I can do editing, I can do kind of small parts of each and everything, and now I want to combine each and all of that, and I want to create something. And so recently I already I went to my hometown and I shot a short film there. And so yeah, I had a very good camera, and I kind of went there. I right now you guys are seeing that this is a good enough lighting where I'm sitting, and so I bought some light. Like I kind of I'm trying to go towards filmmaking, and but I think I can never quit. This animation is something, you know, it will help me my whole of my life, and I will never quit. I love animation, and that the filmmaking will be an additional skill, but it will be an extension of animation, not a separate thing from animation. Yeah. So yeah. Okay, so for this head of the dinosaur, let's key first on the frame 0 and 50 and maybe 25 as well. So right now maybe on frame 0, and maybe I need to push this Spinosaurus a little bit forward in Z. I think the neck is a little bit shorter here. I might have ruined the correct size of the neck, so I think this might be good enough. Okay. Yeah, cool. So okay, we'll go on frame 13. I'll add a key here. I'll move the neck a little bit back on frame 13, and I will move the neck a little bit back again on frame 37, I think, or maybe 38, and let's see how it looks. First, I think I need to close the mouth of this dinosaur. It's looking weird, and I think we will understand more if the mouth is closed. So now let's go and see, and I will put this on infinity to check how it's looking. Okay, I need to move these keys a little bit. Okay, the same move, so I don't need to repeat that. Yeah, it seems like a interesting move. Maybe he should be looking down a little bit. He's looking too up high. It's a quite proud dinosaur. So no. I think the neck is still too short. Maybe I will move it up a little bit. Okay, so maybe a little bit more up and down in the neck. Let's go to Y, and I'll move it down a little bit, delete this, and on frame 11. I'll make it cycle. Nah, up and down is too much. Okay, let's do some rotations as well, and so let's try with X rotation first, and then we'll move on to other one. I'll add a little bit down. see, right now you guys must be thinking, like, if you're a new animator, that what the hell am I trying to, I'm just trying to follow, uh, I'm I'm just trying to follow what I can do, what I think this might look good, that might look good. I'm just trying to follow my kind of mind, kind of instincts. So Elias asked me that when is my next live session. I no plans yet, but definitely sometime soon. And I'm kind of running out of ideas. What should I make? And what should I make in so that I can finish in time, and trying to find time for that. Okay, so but I will definitely update you guys as soon as I plan when is my next this live thing, and I will update you guys soon. And okay, so but this live thing is a good way to push yourself to make a new video, because I was already feeling lazy. Today is Saturday, and I was already feeling lazy, that oh man, I just want to watch TV and I just want to have relax. But as I knew, I already announced, I already set a live video like almost 5 days ago, so I had to make this. So yeah, here am I. Okay, so maybe yeah, I think, see, like, if you keep detailing, you keep getting there, if you know what you're doing, you just have to keep going. Okay, so now we are seeing that there is a lot of movement happening in the back body, but the neck is very still. So maybe let's try to add some side to side movement in the neck as well, in the head as well. So I'll go to maybe X. Okay, and I will try to add some side to side movement. Okay, 13 and 25 is going to be 38. Okay, I'm just trying to find a good thanks, Jerut. And so I'm trying to find a good spot here to, you know, add a side to side movement on the neck. And let me quickly rotate it a little bit. Okay. Okay. Let's yeah, I think that's a good good idea. Yes, it's a good way to attract. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Is definitely I'll think about it, and it might be a good way to you know, keep your interaction going with the subscribers. I think, yeah, maybe, yeah, definitely I'll think about it, and I'll you know, I'll come back, and maybe in next video we can uh, I might do that. Yeah, the only problem here is just like many times I never know that what will be my schedule for next week. It's just definitely I can ask for ideas, but uh, if you guys see my videos, so I make a video, and then I make 3 or 4 videos, and then I don't make videos for next like 3-4 months, and then again I make 4-5 videos, and then I don't make videos. Just I need to recharge myself again to talk with I'm quite introvert person, so I need to, but yeah, I'll definitely try to, you know, do that kind of more, that kind of stuff more. And especially right now it's a quarantine time, so I think it's a good time to do that kind of stuff. So yeah, definitely I'll get back next time. Okay, so I think this might be a good head animation. Okay, now the last thing I will do is, I think the Y is a little bit too much. I'll reduce it a little bit. And okay, now I will just start doing some Z rotations, and then I will move on to the hands and the tail. Yeah, it's already 11:44, and okay, that's -2. Okay, so let's try to add something nice follow through here to kind of like more like a, when the dinosaur is walking, we want to see a little bit noise in the head, so I'm just trying to add that. And so see, that's why, you know, right now today I'm trying to make this video, and all these ideas coming in my mind, like we can do this, we can do that. So maybe I feel that because of that reason it's a good idea to, you know, maybe especially for my own, maybe for my own projects, and maybe for my when I'm making a YouTube video, maybe I think it might be a good idea to not use reference. But definitely, if please, I have to say that, guys, don't listen to me. Please don't make animation without reference. I think, you know, reference is the biggest part. If you can find nice reference, that's half of the work. Animating with reference, I like animating without reference. I like to experiment a lot, that's why I'm doing that. But otherwise I think it's not a good idea to animate without a reference like this. So yeah, I think I'm done with the head for now. It's let's see without the curves. Yeah, this is looking I think it has a good enough weight, right? Okay, I think it's a good time to move on to the hands and then tail. Okay, so to start animating the hands, I will first do the animation on this part of on the shoulders. On this thing I would like to animate this first, and then okay, let me see what's the difference between this thing and this thing. Okay, I think this has a broader range. Okay. Oh, the troll thing. Okay, Yeah, I think Jarud mentioned that maybe a kind of more of a human kind of a creature. Yeah, I think that might be good thing to animate. uh, I and that will be something new. It will be something new to animate as well for me. I'm just, my life is all surrounded around, you know, dinosaurs, and I'm just doing dinosaur animation all the time. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Maybe, yeah, I will look into some new rigs like that. So okay, so now I'm going to add a follow through in this part of the body, so that there is a kind of follow through going on in the shoulders of the dinosaur, and then the same and then that follow through is coming more like from the foot, especially from the jiggle part. So I will add a little bit down motion here, and then a little bit up, and then okay. Okay, I will try to copy this. Yeah, yes, that's a good idea. Yeah, and but yeah, I think, but this thing kind of a nice push to make a uh, as you guys can see right now, I'm trying to make a nice follow through in the, it's not looking good, but yeah, I'm gonna work it on it now. I think that's not a good way to approach this jiggle. I'm gonna delete it and make it again. So first I will go ahead with the Y only, and that's why I was trying to speed up the jiggle, but I think I got into trouble. So first I will start with the Y only. I will add a key here, and I'm sorry, the Y is going somewhere else. I thought it'll be up and down, but it's going somewhere else. Let's see what is up and down then. It's Z. Now Z is front and back. Okay, it must be X then. Okay, I think we have to animate separately, so it's opposite. So I will just go here and okay, I will go ahead and animate X first. I will move it up because the body is going down, so there should be some follow through here, and up, and then when the body hit the bottom, it will bottom means when it reaches the lowest position, it will go down quickly. So this I am mighty Chintu is asking me how to do slow in slow out. So hey, like see, I'll call you Chintu. So Chintu, like there is no uh, see it, Chintu, right? Yeah, okay, so I'll call you Chintu. So hey Chintu, like so the slow in slow out is just, it's nothing but just this, like right now. So see, this curve is going from here to here, right? So it's slowly starting to go up and then speeding up here and then slowly stopping here and then again. So that's all. This is just slow in slow out. Like now if I select this part and if I make it like this, now it's not slowing out. If I select this, if I do it like this, now the curve is not slowing out. So if you see this area right now is now we can't call this slow in slow out. Now we will call it linear. So so slow in slow out just means that starting from one key slowly and reaching to another key slowly. So it helps in one way, but as if you practice more, you won't even think about it. It just you need to understand how the motion is working here. And okay, so okay, so I added a kind of down movement here, and then again from 25 I will do the same thing. I just don't need this last one. Okay, yeah, it's working nice. I think but we need to modify a little bit. We can't just use it twice. We have to man, I think this will be my longest video. Is almost 3 hours now, 3 hours and 2 minutes. Okay, whatever. Okay, so I think this is a good up and down movement for this right side. Now let's try to do a front and back movement here. So I will select it and I will see, I think it's Y. No, Y is in and out. Z. Yeah. So here I feel that at this point the hand will go ahead a little bit. See, right now I'm just trying to think how it might look good. So as I'm just observing the way the body is moving, and I'm just moving the shoulder in that way. I'm just trying to add a nice follow through in the shoulder, that's all. So I just say quick shout out to where is my friend okay, so Missam Prashant, okay, so he was asking me how to make a jiggle animation. So here you guys can, right now you can see like how I made a kind of follow through in the shoulder. So that's exactly the way you will make a jiggle in the body. And so let's say if you're trying to make a jiggle in the neck, just do the same thing and copy the animation to all, or maybe do the same thing to all the controllers, and then just add a delay. That will add a nice yeah, kind of jiggle in the neck. And but it takes time to add that kind of jiggle. That's another thing to worry, we should talk about. The animation principle. Okay, so first of all, Chintu is asking me, tell me one character with all the animation principle. See, principle is just a word to make your life easier. It's just a way you can think about animation. So my principles are completely different than those 12 principles which you think about. So I think about animation completely differently. I made my own principles, and the way I animate. So that's a quite interesting question, but I have to think about that answer. But I think all characters have follow the principles of animation. Principles are just there to make your life easier. Like for example, principles of humans are to drive vehicle on I don't know, whichever country you are, you drive your vehicle on one side of the road. So that's the principle we follow. So one person can say that I'm going to drive on other side. So it's just like there are, you can drive it on other side as well, there's no problem, but it's just, you know, the life won't be easier. So it just principles are there just to make our life easier. So and so we'll continue with this. Okay, so this part is not good for me, and at the Naples there could be moved to give the flow of thread. Yeah, Elias is asking if the knee poles could be moved to give the feeling of the yeah, I think you can work on knee poles, but frankly I'm not liking my knees right now. The knees need to be a little bit smooth. Right now the knees are quite like, especially when it's touching the ground, I feel that, you know, that's not how knees should be moved, especially like right now. If you see like the knees at frame 23 knees, and then they are suddenly moving down and banging the floor and then stopping suddenly. I think that's not how the knees should be moved. Knees should be moving, and that means something is not working in my animation. I have to figure out how to make the knees should be kind of smooth. When the foot is landing on the ground, maybe there might be some jiggle or some you know, something can happen in the knee, but it should be mostly smooth. And so I must be doing something wrong here. I have to figure out, but for the purpose of this tutorial, I think this is a good enough knee movement. So I feel that, you know, if I need to remove this sudden movement, and I can move it by there might be some few ways I need to make. And maybe let's look at this knee. Maybe this knee might be better than other knee, because we spend more time on this foot. And yeah, I think this knee is definitely better. Yeah, we will see. We'll try to spend more time in polishing the knee. And okay, so it seems like this should be good enough. Wait, let me try to do a little bit more. Okay, so just trying to make a nice follow through, because why I'm spending so much time on this shoulder, because I think it will display a lot of weight. Yeah, this part is not good. Yeah, I think this is good. This is good enough for the shoulder. And now let's move on to the hands, and then we'll quickly finish the video by doing the tail. And now let's try to copy this. Okay, I think, yeah, Elias asked me how to copy this animation from one side to that side, so let's try to copy this animation to that side. So here we are not rotating, like we are trying to avoid the rotation. We just move this control, so it will be very easy to copy this side to that side. And so what I'm gonna do, I will see which side is inverse, so I'll select both of those. I'll move them in Z. So Z should, we don't have to flip the Z, we don't, oh wait, I think this should be both, I'm sorry. So yeah, this is better. Z are opposite to each other, X are opposite to each other, just Y are in same direction, but we don't have any animation on Y, so we have to flip our animation if we copy it. So I'll just copy all the curves, and I'll go and select my other controller, and I'll paste it. And now I'm just gonna make it infinity, and I'm gonna select it, and I'm going to make it, I already showed you guys, if your value is -1 and if you want to pivot from 0, so I'll keep this value and I'll scale keys, it'll just flip the thing. And so again, like Prashant, like Missam Prashant, like as you can see, like the kind of thing we are seeing on the shoulder. So this is jiggle, it's kind of a jiggle happening in the shoulder. So it's actually a bone moving, but the same principle for jiggle. You try to make it work. You try to make it work. And now I can, if I had 3 more bones here, let's say if I had one more hand here, it's a dinosaur with 2 hands. So to make a nice wave, I will do one animation, and then I'll paste the same animation on the next one, and then I'll delay it a little bit. And so it's just, you have to figure out ways to make nice animation. And now I'll quickly do a animation on the hand. I will not be spending too much time right now. I will just try to animate them together. So I'll key on 0, a little bit like this, and then yeah, I'll just yeah, seems like a good enough shot. It's like just a follow through, but yeah. Okay, so maybe now let's try X. Okay, I will okay, so sorry, I'm doing completely wrong thing here. Yeah, so let's try to do now the maybe rotation X. Okay. So Chintu is asking, explain offsets. Offset is like, so if I have two controllers with the same animation, I will select the second controller and I will just move the keys. I'll delay it. Just moving it, moving offset is just a moving something in one line is called offset, I think. At least that's what I think. So yeah, so I think I see, like in hands right now you can keep doing more and more detail. There's no and so I think for now I think this is good enough for me. If I want, I can add some follow through on the x-axis also. I can do something like this, and but it's just going to consume our time. Let's do animation on this. I think you guys understood the I think this video is quite successful. We understood I think this animation I was not sure like that how am I going to, how is this video is going to, maybe because when you're animating in front of people, I was thinking that maybe this video I might end up messing, I might end up wasting everybody's time and it might not even turn out good, but I think it turned out pretty good. Like it was quite successful and the animation is not looking bad. I think it's a good looking animation, and yeah, so again, like I added some more follow through in the knees, in the elbows as well. So yeah, so frankly I think this is not a good way, because it's just the both hands are looking like very symmetrical. So I'll just move one hand like somehow like this, just to add a variation. And definitely now I have to add some follow through in the hands as well, but you guys know how I added. It's the same way to add follow through, the same way I added some follow through in the shoulder, the same way you have to add follow through in the it's just the same way you add some follow through, and a little bit more control. Instead of add some follow through and then let him just do something controlling as well, because it's just not a pendulum, it's a arm with muscles. So now let's move on to the tail. So, and I think this should be, seems like a okay, so seems like a good enough weighty animation, right? Yeah, remember we still have to copy the this foot animation, the left foot animation to the right foot. We still have to do that, and let's see how it will look after the tail. So Chintu is asking, can you show me your showreel? You can see my showreel on my YouTube channel. I think that's the main, if you go to my, if you just click on my channel, you will see the first video should be my showreel, but yeah, it's on my channel, you will find it. And okay, so let's start now. Let's think about it. How are we going to make the tail animation? And so Elias is saying that if I had some money, I will gladly donate to your channel. Yeah, I think it would be a good idea to animate for to make this kind of, because I learned this thing in years and years of practice, and I'm just sharing on just live like this without anything. So that would be an ideal thing to make this animation for money. But yeah, definitely in future, maybe I had nothing like that in my mind. but maybe a Patreon account or something like that. Maybe I'll do that, but yeah, for now there are enough things in my life to worry about. But yeah, definitely, you know that. But thank you for saying that. But right now I'm just animating to see how I can interact with people, so I think it's working pretty good. And okay, so I think it's a very quick shortcut, and many guys do that. Many guys like to it's a very quick and easy way to make tail animation, and I think even you guys must have used that way to make a tail animation. So what I will do, I will just select all the controllers. I will select all the controllers and I will just try to animate them together. So let's say the foot is touching the ground on frame 0. So I will move the tail a little bit up like this. And so again, guys, this is a quick way. I think it's the same way which we do with the pendulum. So I'm trying to do use the same method to make the tail. So on frame 0, as this foot just landed on the ground, so on frame 0, this tail, I will just face the tail. I'll select everything and I moved everything up. I'll key it, and I'll keep the same key on frame 50 as well. And I'll keep the same key on frame 25 as well. So, and maybe on frame 12, I'll move everything down. I don't need this last key yet, and so this is the first part. Please bear with me. So the next, after this, what I'm gonna do is I need to, when it's going down, I'm gonna make it go down a little bit faster. I don't need this thing. Okay, so let's try now. Now we have this thing. Okay, it's not moving on side to side yet, but we will work on that as well. Okay, so there is another question from okay, hi now. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm not Sundar. I'll just call you Sundar. The last question. So Sundar is asking me that, did you learn animation by your experience or did you learn somewhere? So the last time I learned from a school, when I was in my graduation. So the last thing I learned from somebody was how to make a walk cycle, and that walk cycle was you know what kind of walk cycles you learn from schools. So I can say that I learned everything on my own. I think I just learned, I just practiced, and this is how I learned. And many people ask me that, do you please recommend me a school, and I wish I can recommend them something, but till now there are many nice online schools, but for me I feel that self-learning worked for me. So okay, so okay, so first we will work on the, okay, let's try to add some side-to-side animation as well, and then we will delay, then we will add delay in the then we will add delay in the in the whole entire tail. So maybe I will, on frame 25 I'll keep the tail like this, and on frame 0 I will keep the frame in other direction. But I think this why we will the side-to-side motion we will deal with later. Right now we will deal with the just Z. So what I'll do, right now we already added just up and down this kind of movement in the tail. So now and it's the same animation in all the controllers. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna deselect the first controller and I'm gonna move the entire animation, just one frame. Let's see how it goes. Deselect another controller and move the entire animation again one frame. Deselect this controller and may move entire animation again one frame. Deselect another controller, move again another, and move again. And now we'll see how we only delayed the entire animation by one frame. So now we can see that the one frame is not working that well. So now we will select everything again and we will move everything 2 frames, and let's see how 2 frame works. Maybe it will work, maybe it will not, but trust me, this is not a good way to work. I feel that, you know, this is very old school work, but it works sometimes. It does work nicely sometimes, but as a professional animator, I would like to animate the tail, you know, manually. But for now, just to get done with this tutorial, I think this might be a good way to animate the tail. And okay, so again, now you can see there's a shitty animation tail animation going on here. So what we are going to do here, how will we fix this tail, because how will we animate the tail nicely here? So we have to first of all, I will select all the controllers. Now you guys just have to sit and observe how I do this. One, two, three, four, five. Okay. Okay, so I'm just trying to make the follow through work nicely so that it because right now is why I'm not talking. I hope you guys will observe what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to find a nice follow through which can work for me, because this is a little bit complicated thing which I'm doing right now. So I'm just trying to explain a little bit less. And okay, I think this is still too much, the tail. Maybe now I will go to each controller and I'll try to reduce the movement. Maybe I can reduce movement a little bit on this first 4 controllers, and I will just one by one I can reduce a little bit on these 2. Nah, I think that's not a good idea. And now I am feeling that we need to reduce the distance between the keys, especially so I'll go again, and maybe these 4 I'll move them a little bit front, and then maybe these 5 also I'll move them. Okay, I'm sorry guys, this is a little bit complicated to work with, so it will take a little bit time to I have to okay, so I feel now we can okay, so let's try to do more detail in these two. And maybe I'll reduce the delay in both of them, in these three. Okay, so we need to reduce the value again to make it a little bit look better. Okay, so I'm sure this part is the most boring part, because this is not exactly animation. You are just trying to make it look as if it's a part of the body which is just trying to balance its weight. Okay, so let's see. That's the reason I like to work with IK tail, because with IK I can move each and every part separately. This rig have IK controllers, but frankly it's not worth it's not that good, and I would rather not work with that. And so okay, so we'll just keep this one for now, and now let's add some side to side movement. And why? Okay, so when the body is like this, I'll say the tail can be like this. Okay, and I will select all the Y curves here, and I will delete all the upper controllers and go to frame 50, and I'll insert a key, go to frame 25 and reverse it. Okay, now we have to again start adding delay in them. In this I will just add maybe 2 frame delay in all of them. So I'll deselect this 2 frame delay, deselect next one in hierarchy, 2 frame delay, next one in hierarchy, 2 frame delay. Next one in hierarchy, 2 frame delay, same thing. Let's see how it looks. Yep. Yeah. No, but yeah, there's one thing missing here. I will go back before we added delay in all of them. I'll go back till we added any delay. So right now there's no delay. Okay, so and what I'll do, I will go to frame 12, maybe 13. I'll add a key here, and I will add a sudden move here, like I mean the going can be faster. And then I'll go back and I'll go to frame 38, 39, 38 somewhere, and again I'll add a key there, and I'll move it a little bit faster, and I will start adding key now. Let's see how it will work. 1, 2, so let's see. Yeah, we have to say that it's a little bit too much, but yeah, let's try to reduce it a little bit. Okay, so okay, so yep, so this is where we stop, I think. So man, the tail is not looking good to me. The up and down is way too much. Let's reduce it a little bit. I don't want to end with a bad ending. I want to end with a happy ending. So I don't think this is a happy ending with a bad tail. Okay, so let's try to fix it. Okay. Okay, so okay, yeah, thanks Aman. I don't know how to use Aman X. Okay, and thanks Elias. I hope it's you guys like this, and I think this is a good spot now. It's a happy ending right now. It's not a bad ending to this story, and looks good, right? For sure, like, you know, I'm sure, like, after this video is done, I'm gonna spend at least 1 more week to add even more detail to this. I'm gonna it's almost a 3 hours and 40 minutes of video, and I'm gonna make even more yeah, definitely I have to do a lot of work on this, and but for now I think we know we kind of get all the fundamentals of cycle. We our head is working, our body is working, our tail is working, our feet are working, our fingers are working, definitely. So I think this angle, we still have one thing left to do, and that is transferring this side of animation to that side. So yeah, we have to do that, and I'll rather this copying this fingers and pasting on this side is not working for some reason, and I have to copy them manually, I think. And so for now I think this is not a bad animation. I really don't want to finish without completing the fingers, but I think this is a good animation. This is there's a good enough detail, and I'm glad, like you knew that I started with just a with nothing, and we reach here without any reference. I was not looking at any reference, and you guys can might have learned somehow about the process of this animation, my process of this animation. So we have a good enough tail, we have a good enough body, and I have to finish this finger animation. I'll quickly finish it. I don't want to leave it like this, and I don't want to. Quickly I'll finish this, the same thing which I did in the beginning. Okay, first of all I have to make it look nice. I think this is the only thing left, and I don't like to finish this animation. I spent quite a lot of time you know, doing everything, and in the end I don't want to leave with just a shitty foot. And thanks Prashant, thanks Siam, and I'm sorry, I know I'm messing up all of your names, and but yeah, thanks for your compliments. And okay, and I'll quickly do an animation of okay, so from 25 to 32. Okay, from on frame 7 I will do yeah, okay guys, I think you guys also stay safe. So this video will be ending soon, and I have to say that guys, if you guys will stay inside, please stay inside, don't be outside, and stay inside and animate. And I think this is the best way to learn this, and I think this is a really bad time, but the good thing is that for us animators, we can just stay inside and we can polish our skills. Just make your demo reel and do something at home, don't go outside. And so right now, as you guys can see, I'm working really fast. This is how I work when I work on my studio or in my personal projects. I don't have to keep speaking, and I just have to sit down and keep animating. So this is how I think this is very fast. It's really fast to animate when you don't have to talk, and I'm not good at talking. I'm a quite introvert person. And okay, so this, and maybe okay, now almost done, almost done. So if you guys stay till end with me, I'll let you guys know what will no guys, I will definitely announce if whatever video I will make next, you guys will know through my YouTube channel. You guys will get notification. I will again post when is my next video coming, and I will post that it'll be live on, I will be live again on this day, so you guys don't have to worry, you guys won't miss anything. If somebody want to leave, they can freely leave this video. And I'm almost done, and I just have to I just want to end this video with a completion. I think I want to sleep with the satisfaction that I made a nice video today. So okay, so it's okay, so now it's almost done. So almost done. So cool. Yep. So this is it. So this is we did this animation in 3 hours and 47 minutes and 45 seconds. So I think this is a good enough animation to be done in this much time, and I'm gonna keep working on this animation. Frankly I need this animation for something, and so I'm gonna keep working on it. I will spend maybe 1 more week trying to refine this, and until it doesn't look perfect to me, I will keep working on it. I have to keep I have to do a lot of details. I didn't even touch the spine. I have to spend a lot of time in the hands. That's not, I have to make the hands looks muscular, as if there is a purpose to the hands. Right now the hands don't have any purpose, so that's not a good way. And I have to spend time, way more time in the say that I have to spend way more time in the head. I'm not 100% happy with the head. I'm kind of I have to spend way more time, but I have to add jiggle in the body. Whatever jiggle controllers I have, I'm gonna use them and add a jiggle in the body. And so yeah, there is a lot of stuff left to do here, and so yeah, but for now we covered all the principles of my principles at least. And yeah guys, stay safe. And so hey Sajid and Sari, thank you very much. And so okay, so Sajid, I think I might not be the best person to make a tutorial on lighting, but I do know how to, I do know quite a lot of things about lighting, but I'm not I'm not pro at it. I mean, like, I know what movements will look good in here. Lighting, I might, you know, I might work like an amateur, and I have no idea how to make it look nice, but according to me I try my best to make it look nice. So I might not be the best person to make lighting tutorial, but definitely you will see more of animation tutorials. And so yeah, I will let you guys know when is my next video. And thank you guys for, like, most of you guys, like Prashant and Elias and Sam, and like so many of you guys were from the beginning to end, and it feels good that, you know, somebody was with you the entire time. And it's very inspiring that, you know, to have you guys follow my entire video. Yeah, so layered animation is a very simple sham, and we will talk about it sometime in future. So yeah, so this is the end of the video. Thank you very much, guys. As uh, if somebody need to see this video, you guys can share. It's just I'm just trying to be more people friendly, guys. So I think it's and maybe we can, if I have a good enough group, like if somebody like to go ahead and learn more in personally in face to face, we can do Zoom, but for that maybe I have to think about it. And this, because this thing doesn't enter in my personal life. I'm done with, I animated this and I'm done. And with Zoom I'll talk with more people, so I have to make some more space in my mind. So I'm not sure if I have this space, and to make that space in my mind I need to be earning money for that. So so yeah, okay, so good. So okay, see you guys, take care, stay inside, it's coronavirus, stay safe, and see you guys sometime soon. Bye.